wrong. Unless until you know that, you can't improve that. So as I said, availability, it's what are breakdown which is happening, changeover which are happening, that is also affect your availability. Right? Performance. So if there are minor stoppages which are happening, some reduced speed, I'll tell you what are these. And quality startup defects in the initial and then scrap or rework in the process, all add up to like to a quality defect. So when you say 6 big losses like 2 in the availability, availability means if how you make sure that machines are available for production. Let's say if you have fever, if you have back pain and you are taking rest, that means there's absenteeism. You are not available, so that will affect your availability, right? In a similar way, when machines are not working, when there's a breakdown, when there's a changeover, then it will affect the availability of machines. Performance, these two, minor stops and reduced speed, and then quality startup defect in the initial and then scrap. So let us try to understand this one by one so that you get more clarity. So these are the 6 big losses. Okay, so let us try to understand. Okay, breakdown failure. So when we talk about breakdown, so it will talk about the availability. Okay, and it will affect that. So losses due to sporadic and functional machine like tooling failures, unplanned general breakdown, setup adjustment, startup, idling, minor, reduced speed, defect. Let me show you like another screen so that you get more clarity, because there it is written in a, it will be explained in a more better way. You can look at it, try for that matrix as well. Equipment failure loss. So what does it mean? Like equipment failure loss, when we talk about that, means there's a breakdown, machine is not working, equipment is not working. So their downtime is there. Downtime means they are not working. They are not adding any value. They are not producing. They are not producing. That's a loss, right? So it is an unplanned stoppage or downtime, we say, okay, which we calculate in your breakdown records as breakdown hours. So it could be like tooling failure. It could be like unplanned maintenance. So when we say planned maintenance, should we consider that? Planned maintenance, if we are planning to do some maintenance, should we consider that? No, we should not consider planned maintenance. We should consider unplanned. It's not planned. Okay. Some shaft breakdown or some motor get burned, all this will come under unplanned maintenance. That's a purpose, right? Okay, so that is the one equipment failure loss, so simply breakdown, and then setup and adjustment loss. So where exactly this will come? So when we say during setup and adjustment loss, like what will happen? Like you are doing like setup, you are changing of tooling, right? Changeover. So these all like will come under setup loss. So generally it will affect your what? It will affect your availability. It could be warm up, quality inspection. So this all like you can include in the setup loss in the initial itself, and you are doing some adjustment that will come under setup and adjustment loss. Idling and minor stoppage. Sometimes this does not get reported. Sometimes this does not get measured. Why? For a very small time, you're doing a screw fitting up, a screw in the feeder, the screw gets stuck, and your operator takes like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You're doing this screw feeding. You're using a screw feeder, and the screw gets stuck in the screw feeder, and 10 seconds, 15 seconds is lost. It's a misfit, metal jam. Sometimes it is not considered at all. It should be considered. Okay, minor stopping, which also affect obstructed metal flow, wrong setting, misalignment, all will come under minor stopping, right? So most of the time we do not ignore this. So minor stoppage, absolutely yes, you need to have like observation, you need to have the data for doing that. Okay, so I will again repeat. Minor stoppage are the stoppage which account for the equipment stop for a short period of time. So minor stop mean not for an 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or for an hour. It could be for a minute or two. It could be in seconds. Typically, it's a minute or two. And much time we see that this minute or two downtime minor stoppage is not reported itself. And think about this: in a day, if 2 minutes is happening 5 times, it's 10 minutes. For 10 days, it's 100 minutes, like 1 hour, 40 minutes. For 100 days, it continues, right? 10 minutes a day, 1000 minutes. Think about that. It will come in a year, it will come to like multiple hours and multiple days. In Hindi, we say, बूंद बूंद से सागर भरता है. A small drop will make an ocean, and that's the reason you should focus on minor stoppage also, even if a minute or two. I know it is difficult to do, but if this can be done, this discipline is there in the operator, because he is answerable why you have done less production, so he should report that. Okay, so these are the stoppages which are generally resolved by operator. As I gave the example, like if there is a misfit or some alignment is not happening, or some screw feeder, your screw gets stuck. So these kind of losses should also be monitored, right? Reduce speed. So what does it mean? Reduce speed means the equipments run slower than their idle time. Whatever the idle time, cycle time you have a split, the equipment is theoretically running less than that. Let's say you say that if this process should be carried out in 15 seconds and the equipment is taking 20 seconds, then 5 seconds is a loss. So what could be the reason for reduced speed? Is also called performance loss. It could be dirty, worn, poor lubrication, substandard material, poor environment condition, operating experience. So these are the example of reduced speed when you are not achieving your idle cycle time. So then that's the example of reduced speed. So which will result into a lower number of production. Okay, that's the focus of reduced speed. Process defect, simple. Rework which is happening, defects which are happening. It's a complete quality loss, incorrect equipment setting, operator handling, not expiration, like that is also an example of defect. Reduce yield, what does it mean? Reduce yield means when this includes like scrap parts, right? And your OE, you are not basically whatever your input, like whatever is the input, you are not getting that as output. That's a reduced yield. Let's say you are doing a molding operation and you put X gram or X kg of material, and then you get X minus. Yeah, you get you get Y, but that Y is less than X. Obviously, it will be less than X, but is it within your defined or specified limit? If not, what does it mean? They, they reduce it. So how can it happen? When unnecessary waste is happening, this can happen because of that, right? There is too much waste which is happening in warm up. Then this can result into a reduced yield. Okay. When there are too much like suboptimal changeover, incorrect setting, you did that and then you got so much molded pieces which are defective. So this will also result into a lower yield. So yield is like whatever you are putting and then what you are getting as an output. What's the difference in that? If it is behind the agreed or decided percentage or decided standard, then you have to take action, right? It could be a startup loss, it could be a changeover loss, right? So this is like the 6 big losses. Okay, so these are the 6 losses. So should you calculate this? Yes, absolutely. Should you identify this? Yes, you should identify this. Okay, and not only you should identify this, but at the same time you should monitor this and you should improve this. So there is one very popular saying: the thing which you can focus can be improved. If you can, the thing which you can focus can be improved. If you can focus that, you can improve that. But if you do not focus, you cannot improve. And how can you focus? So when you do monitoring, if you do monitoring, there's a possibility that you can improve that. Okay. To sum up, like breakdown failures are related to general breakdown, equipment failure, tooling failure, unplanned maintenance. Setup and adjustment will related to like better shortage, or it could be warm up time, better shortage. Startup in the beginning, that will result into a lower yield. Okay, idling or minor stoppage like obstruction of your product flow, or component get jam, or miss speed, or sensor getting blocked, cleaning is not happening. Reduced speed stands for like when equipment is wear and tear is happening, not proper oiling is there. Defects and rework will result into a line stoppage or defects, and rework is happening, that will result into a defect. So these are the 6 categories of losses which you should identify. I hope you got the understanding of this requirement. Thank you very much.